happened. So I had to shift what I was doing. And one of the big questions that I had to ask myself is, what is God doing and how could I be a part of it? And so during the time, we had to realize, okay, we were distracted.
Yeah.
We were busy, and our priorities were out of line. So from this point on, I need to watch for distraction.
Right.
I need to watch for things that may be good, but may not be, where I need to be.
Right.
So really just priority shifting, and, I think we all did that.
Yeah, definitely.
Spending more time with the family, and I think that's a great thing that happened. There's a lot of good things that happened during this time, and I think either you kind of stood where you were, or you kind of grew, or not kind of grew. You grew a lot in this season, and I'm all about growth. I teach growth, and I think it's just having a positive mindset on everything. So what I'm doing right now, through the crisis, I had to shift because I did speaking. There wasn't any really live events going on. I go to a lot of events. I go to a lot of things that are, people oriented and big group oriented. Yeah. So the first couple weeks I was like, man, I had this was supposed to be my year.
Right. So many things right there.
25 years. Yeah. And so I had speaking engagements lined up. I was like, man, this is gonna be great. And I had just came back from West Palm Beach.
Oh wow!
And I got to meet John Maxwell and talk to him. And,
nice, man.
And it was great. I was on a
Cloud nine.
Yeah, I was on a and so I was coming back from that, and that's whenever I heard one person had it, or in California or whatever, and then obviously things have changed since then. But I wanted to know, how could I use this crisis to help other people? And so one thing that I thought about, John Maxwell is all about this, and I preach this every day, is he who waters shall be watered. So adding value to people.
Yeah.
And I don't think God had shown me that I was so busy in the things and the events and the businesses or the ministries or the churches that I was involved with. And my focus was on those things. And he was like, that's not even your heart. Your heart is for the people.
That's so true.
And so I was so busy doing the task that I forgot that I'm doing it actually for the people. Yeah. And so I had to get back to that that aspect of everything that I do is people oriented. Like if I grow this business owner, their business is gonna grow.
Right.
If I add value to this pastor, their church is gonna grow. If I add value to this ministry leader, he's gonna touch more people. So really adding value to the person that I'm involved with, or the people that I'm involved with, and going back to that, adding value. So I figured out ways how I can add value, and everything that I'm learning. I read a lot of books. Is just passing along what I'm learning, being a river, and that's one of my teachings that I teach to everybody around me, is being a river, not a lake. Yeah. Because a lake just gathers and doesn't put out, and then it becomes a dead place. Yeah. Nothing can live in it. But a river is flowing, and new life could come, new things could come in as you're giving out.
I like that.
So being a river, not a lake, and I had to perfect that, even more, because you could be a river and then sometimes channel it to the wrong places. And so that's what I was doing during that time, is finding new channels that I could, now that channel's blocked up, or this channel's blocked up, and somebody, Jerry Mull, told me, during this season you have to figure out what you can do and not focus on what you can't do.
Yes.
So I started going on lives a lot. I'm not a Facebook guy.
Yeah, right.
I'm an Instagram guy.
Okay.
And so I have been doing a lot of Instagram IGTVs, but I noticed I put one, I wanted to reach everybody, and add value. So I went to Facebook and started doing Facebook Lives. And the first one that I did, just like, I don't know how many views.
Nice, man.
And everybody's
Just
like,
kinda
oh man, yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. And, you know, I think I had one, it has like 600
Nice,
views
man.
now.
There you go.
So I started doing that a lot more lives, IGTVs, and I would send encouragement to the people around me.
Nice.
And so during this pandemic, some people might have felt like they were going through it alone, or however you felt,
Right.
you know. But having that encouragement, having somebody say, "Hey, I'm thinking about you.
That's
you know, I'm
huge,
praying for
dude.
you and your
Yeah.
family." So I would just send those out every day.
How
and,
many? Give or take.
50 to 100.
A day?
Yeah.
I love that, man.
I was
That's
saying,
amazing.
and
That's so
they would
good.
kind of be personalized. I know some of them, I had generic things, but then I
Right.
added on, you know,
Yeah.
for the person. So I was
Heck
spending,
yeah,
you know,
man.
a couple hours doing that because I knew that it made a difference. Because somebody sent me a text and said, I'm praying for you and I'm thinking about you. And I was like, man, okay. So I started, you know, taking that, and I was like, I'm gonna do that to everybody, you know, that I know.
Yeah.
And I made a list of categories of different
Nice,
people,
man.
like
Nice.
each day. So I'm still kind of doing that. So
That's so cool. Talk about spreading the positive. Man. That is spreading the positive right there, dude. That
Yeah.
is. I love that. Yeah, I should get into that. I might straight up copy you real quick.
So,
50 to 100.
Yeah. So the biggest thing I think that I gathered from this is that the need of community.
Yes. Dude.
And I think a lot of people got that.
Yeah.
Is that, man, this is the importance of community, because now we didn't have that community. We were, you know, alone, or, you know, whatever, you know, your situation was. But crisis causes awareness. Now people see how much the community benefits us, and that it takes a village.
Yeah.
You know, if I don't have, you know, if you have the coffee, hey, I'll bring the milk or the creamer.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
And, you know, so-and-so has the sugar. But it's going to be bitter without the sugar.
Right.
So we all need to come together. And so thinking of partnerships during this time, how, you know, different things could come together. And I intentionally improve business relationships.
Nice.
Of really the same thing, taking that same sending encouragement. I would do that to the business partnerships that I had, or the business partnerships that I wanted to have.
Nice.
And I would send those messages like, hey, I'm thinking about you, and just send them, you know, maybe a John Maxwell quote or some encouragement, or whatever it is, send them a scripture. But sending out those and building those relationships while people are, you know, kind of focused on themselves.
Right.
I wanted to make, you know, people not think, but actually notice that I'm thinking about them, and I'm trying to encourage them or add value to them during the season. So whenever everything gets ramped up, they're like, man, Jabri kept up with me through that whole thing.
Right.
And so I was on the top of everybody's mind.
Smart.
So expansion, you know, we did Zoom calls. I think everybody found out what
everybody's
Zoom
on
was.
some Zoom calls. Still on some Zoom calls.
And just, you know, my mindset was, what could I do for you in this season? How could I add value? And connection opens up doors.
Yep,
So I wanted
sure
to build those connections so the doors would be open after, you know, the quarantine ended.
Yeah, man, that's incredible. First of all, thank you for doing that. I agree. Just those little gestures can go so far, and you're just so good at that, man. Just lifting people up and bringing the community together. I mean, it's kind of why, you know, me, Patrice, you, and a lot of other people that have over the years just kind of really vibed and really looked for opportunities to do that. And definitely want to get into